through the stage door. And yeah, Robbie-O's coming home today. All right, folks. We love you. Have a great day.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria.
For delivery, call 603-782-8450.
Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town.
1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Best cocktails around.
Come in as friends and leave as family.
You are listening to WMNH-LP, Manchester's radio, broadcasting at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation from the top of 1000 Elm Street. Our studios are located at 1045 Elm Street and licensed to Manchester Public Television Service in Manchester, New Hampshire, USA. Contact us by email at WMNH953@gmail.com or through our website at WMNHradio.org.
Hello. everybody, welcome. Here we go. It's that time again. Matt Connerton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, merch, and more. Today is Thursday, January 19, 2023. So nice to have you all with me today. By the way, I happened to see, I don't know if anyone else has seen this. I don't think this is being widely picked up yet because it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I just happened to see this on MSN.com. Is Putin dead? Volodymyr Zelensky questions whether Russian president is still alive. Apparently there was, and by the way, there's no evidence to suggest that something has happened to Vladimir Putin. Not that anyone would be too sad to see that at this point, but apparently Zelensky, during his speech at Davos, he said, which was beamed in, he wasn't physically there. He said at one point during his speech, quote, "Right now, I don't understand who to talk to. I am not sure whether the president of Russia is still alive," unquote. He also said, quote, "I don't understand that he's still alive or that it is him particularly making decisions." Just kind of, that raised some eyebrows. And apparently there has been, obviously, as we know, there's been a lot of speculation about Putin's health and even that he might be using body doubles for some appearances because he may not be well enough to do that himself. But that just caught my eye. But, of course, the official word out of Moscow is that he's fine. But that is the official word. But I just saw that right before I came on the air. I saw something about Zelensky asking, is Putin dead? And I said, wait, what? Boy, Vladimir Putin, boy. It would not be, I wouldn't even call it an untimely end if something happened to that guy. Anyway, but maybe we'll circle back to that. I mean, that's just, like I said, it may have just been an offhand comment, but he just doesn't seem to know. Zelensky doesn't seem to know at the moment. And, maybe he does know something we don't that he wasn't saying. Who knows? But like I said, we might circle back to that. But we have other things to discuss, of course. Obviously, if we knew for a fact that something had happened to Vladimir Putin, that would be, we would stay on that subject, certainly. But we shall see. But if you'd like to join us today on the program, 603-250-6007 is the number, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connerton, and you can interact and opine in our Facebook live chat during the show. And you can also email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. But the best of all options, of course, so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones, is to give us a call at 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. The studio line is open on this Thursday afternoon. But let's go ahead and say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. And then the first thing that I'm going to get to today, by the way, not the debt limit, believe it or not. There's something else that's got my attention. But our friend Eric Pilcher from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, is in the chat room. Eric, of course, also part of this program. He does Eric Pilcher's classic film review every Friday here on the show. And in fact, tomorrow, because today is Thursday, of course, tomorrow for Eric's film review is part 2 of his review of the Metallica documentary, Some Kind of Monster. So really look forward to that. Let's see. Miriam Banish joins us in the chat and says, good afternoon. Hello, Miriam. Melanie La Liberty from the great state of Vermont joins us. Jenny, of course, is in the chat and says, shalom, peeps. Jason Federson, as I hear him referred to on the morning show by Peter J. Fed, says, good afternoon, everyone. Herman Street, who I'm pretty sure is from Greensboro, North Carolina, says, hello, hashtag Matt. We say good afternoon on you from us. Hi, hashtag Jenny, we say. We say we are here watching you from Greensboro, North Carolina. Oh, how did I know? And happy Thursday afternoon, hashtag Matt. Well, happy Thursday afternoon to you, Herman Street. I say to you, hashtag Herman Street. Miriam says, I would say it was a timely death, not a moment too soon, referring to Vladimir Putin, if in fact he is dead, which he probably is not. Eric mentions he's going to be recording tonight his classic film review, and he says, where is Easy G? Oh, I'm sure he'll be along. I'm sure we'll hear from him. 603-250-6007 is a number if Easy G or anyone else would like to call in. 603-250-6007. Oh, Herman Street says, good afternoon, hashtag Eric Pilcher. We say hi. We say, what's up? Very nice. They're very, very polite and considerate in Greensboro, North Carolina. And, of course, lots and lots of hashtags. So something that caught my attention, and this will come totally out of left field in terms of subjects, I'm sure, or right field, I should say, because it involves conservatives online. Oh, Mike from Queen City Cabinetry joins us in the chat and says, good afternoon. Queen City Cabinetry in the historic Sunbeam Mall, one of our great sponsors here at WMNH 95.3. So last night I ran across something. Some of you may or may not be familiar with him. This guy, Steven Crowder, who's been around a long time. And, you know, we live in a time where you can almost, there's different ways to divide it and define it all, but yeah, you could almost split media if you wanted to. It's reductive, but you could almost split modern media into two sort of sectors. You've got legacy media, which would be, for example, like newspapers, like the New York Times and so forth, and all the cable news networks, everything on cable, and a radio, terrestrial radio, like what we do here. And then you've got online media. You know, you've got media properties that are strictly online. And I get the impression that, you know, a lot of people who still pay attention to legacy media only, when I talk about online media, you might not know some of these personalities that I'm referring to if you only pay attention to legacy media. Or if you're someone who doesn't spend any time online, you might not be familiar with some of these folks. Granted, there's crossover in both directions, of course. But Steven Crowder is, if you're not familiar with him, he is a right-wing online. I mean, he makes appearances on Fox News and whatever, I'm sure, but he is Eric Pilcher says, Matt, you're tempting me to call in, LOL. Well, you're always welcome. I am, when I get into the topic here that I'm going for, I would be curious to hear your thoughts, actually. Oh, Scott Robinson in the chat says, good afternoon, my fellow Connor Tonights. Stay safe in the next week. Yeah, we're supposed to get some snow. Probably not that much, though. I don't think it'll be a big deal. We're having an easy winter overall. I hope that stays that way, but I know they did activate, by the way, and anyone locally here in Manchester, if you don't know, although they make it pretty easy to figure it out with the flashing lights, but if you don't know, they did activate the snow emergency here in the city, so you'll have to have your cars off the street by 10 p.m., I think it is. I think. Crystal from the great state of Illinois also joins us in the chat room. Hello, Crystal. So, Steven Crowder, he has a show called Louder with Crowder. And my personal feelings about Steven Crowder is he's one of those personalities who frustrates me in some ways, because I see potential in him to be a really good journalist, and I've seen things that he's done where I thought, you know, he has a lot of knowledge, and he can be really articulate and sophisticated in some ways in terms of how he presents content when he wants to be. Yeah, he's probably most famous for that Change My Mind thing that he does, where he sets up on a college campus. And even if you've never seen any of the segments, if you're online at all, you've seen the memes, right, for Change My Mind, where he sets up and he'll say something like, he'll have a subject, and it might be something like, there are only two genders, change my mind. And college kids will sit down and he'll debate them. I actually like the concept, but I also strongly suspect, and I think it's been corroborated, and it's no great shock that, you know, they are edited, of course, to make him look smarter than the people he's debating. But that's just an example. But he does the change my mind thing. No, but I saw one of those, though, where he was debating this college student who it actually was very good, in that he didn't try to be like he didn't sort of cop the attitude that he sometimes does, like, oh, you're just a dumb college kid, you don't know anything, I'm going to school you. And of course we're going to heavily edit it so it looks like I schooled you even if I don't school you. Pun fully intended, of course, because it's at a college. No, but he sits with this college student and they talk for like 45 minutes, and they were both very respectful to each other, and they had a surprisingly, much more so than most of the Change My Mind segments that I've seen, they had a surprisingly high level, intellectual, sophisticated dialogue, and it was good. And I thought, see, he can do things like that. Unfortunately, I've seen also a lot of Steven Crowder's content over the year on the negative side, and this is why I don't particularly care for him. A lot of his content that I've seen that he's put out over the years, I would consider, what's the word? Racist. That's it. Yes, racist. Very much so, in fact. So I'm not a fan of Steven Crowder. I see potential in him. But he clearly, he has an audience that he's pandering to, and he really rides that horse, so to speak. That's not the right, boy, what an odd, analogy I chose to go with, or a turn of phrase. Ride that horse. That actually, means, I don't think he does heroin. I didn't mean that. I hope no one, took that wrong. Anyway, I should have chosen a better, turn of phrase. It doesn't matter. The point is, not a fan for that reason. I see the potential in him, and yet he perpetually disappoints me. So, not a big fan of Steven Crowder. For example, and if you want an example of what I'm talking about, why I'm not a fan, if you were to go online, and if you can even stomach it, if you look up his take on Kanye West and his anti-Semitism, he kind of goes with the whole, well, maybe there's a conversation to be had about, Kanye might have a point, that kind of thing. He's part of the Kanye may have a point crowd, which is where a lot of these people land. Or if you're Candace Owens, you just come right out and say that you think Kanye's awesome and that there's nothing anti-Semitic about what he said. And Candace works for the Daily Wire. And we're going to get to the Daily Wire in a moment. That's where this whole thing gets interesting. So anyway, that gives you an idea. If you're not familiar with Steven Crowder, that gives you an idea of who he is. He also, by the way, he's very tall. I think he's like the height of our very own Peter White of The Morning Show with Peter White. He's like 6'10" and very buff. Not Peter White, but Steven Crowder. He's, you can tell he works out. He wears these almost absurdly tight shirts, and he's got the big muscles, and he wears a gun holster while he does a show because, he wants to, show off how pro-gun he is. I mean, I'm pro-gun, I'm pro-2A, but I don't wear a gun holster. I think it would be uncomfortable, and I don't know if it would be allowed. I mean, I wouldn't, a gun certainly would not be allowed. I don't know if even the holster, that might send the wrong message. But anyway, so that's who Steven Crowder is. Now, Steven Crowder, until the end of last year, worked for The Blaze. And if you don't know what The Blaze is, because again, if you're someone who only is interested in legacy media and you don't pay any attention to online media, because The Blaze is completely online, it was originally, I think, called Blaze TV. It was Glenn Beck's thing when Glenn Beck started his own online media property. It was Blaze TV. And then Blaze TV was going bankrupt, and then it merged with, what's his name? The guy who yells a lot. That really narrows it down. The conservative talk show host, he's an older guy. He used to hang out a lot with Hannity. I'm blanking on his name. But he had his own thing going, and then he and Glenn Beck's thing merged, and Eric Pilcher probably knows who I mean. He's an older guy. But he freaks out. He loses his temper and starts yelling, like almost at random into the microphone. He's on one of the local FM talk stations in this market. Totally can't remember his name. But anyway, he's entertaining if you if you can stand him for more than 10 minutes. I cannot think of his name. So they merged and became The Blaze. So Steven Crowder was at The Blaze. Now, I did not know. Now, Steven Crowder, he has his own. It's not like he goes there. He didn't go somewhere else to do his show. He has his own studio set up for Louder with Crowder. But it would be, beamed in, for lack of a better way of putting it, to The Blaze. And aired on their online network. So that apparently ended. He was fired, or you could say, we don't really know the details about what happened there, actually. They did not renew his contract. And at the end of... they did not renew his contract at the end of 2022. So he left. And there's you can find it on YouTube. He made a statement about it and whatnot, and sounded a little disappointed. But they did not renew him, even though he's a very big name. Now, I don't know why they wouldn't renew Steven Crowder, because he is such a big name. I don't know what happened there, but that's what happened. And I didn't realize this until last night that he wasn't at The Blaze anymore. But then I saw, now this is where it gets weird. Then I happened to see, so the Majority Report with Sam Cedar, which is also an online show that is very popular. Very popular. That's a liberal show. They do a lot of analysis of Steven Crowder. They like to point out his, what's the word? Racism. They like to point out his racism and so forth. But they were doing an analysis of this weird video that Steven Crowder did. So apparently Crowder right now, he's in this sort of limbo because he's not at The Blaze anymore, but he doesn't have a new home for his show. So he's just doing, but you can still find his show on YouTube. But his show isn't monetized on YouTube. So he hasn't been kicked off of YouTube, but he has been demonetized. I think because some of his content does not, I guess his content violates YouTube's terms of service enough that they chose to demonetize him, but not enough so that they chose to kick him off. So he's still on there, and he still does his show, but he doesn't have a network that he's on. So then this is this is where I became really fascinated by this whole business. And I'm trying to look at this article, but I might need to just refresh that there browser. Well, maybe actually there's a couple different ones here. Well, I like the Daily Beast article because it explains it really well, but now it's telling me I have to subscribe to unlock the article, and it's free to subscribe, but will it let me just subscribe with Google? So I don't have to punch a bunch of things in. Oh, here we go. I got it. Okay. So this is what happened, basically, and then we'll look at the article to fill in some details. Crowder makes this video, and he doesn't mention who he's talking about in the video, but he makes this video where he says he's got a new opportunity. And by the way, this is very inside, but there's a few of us who are familiar with a certain other individual who's always talking about his new opportunities, and then it never seems to work out. But it's someone we don't talk about anymore, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, Crowder makes this video talking about this new opportunity that he has with this other network because he's no longer at The Blaze. But he's complaining about how they have all these policies about, okay, they're going to pay him X number of dollars for his show to carry his show. But in the contract, there's all this stuff about if any of the social media sites ban him or if he becomes demonetized, this new media property that he was negotiating with that showed an interest in him will actually deduct how much they're paying him. And he takes this opportunity to complain. It's really weird. Basically what he says is, look, these conservative media properties online, they claim that they're all about free speech. They're all about free, unfettered speech. And you can be a true conservative and say, whatever you want. But at the end of the day, they're still bending the knee to big tech. They're still letting big tech, because you'll often hear people who've been, and again, there are weird parallels, didn't even occur to me. Again, this is very inside, but this reference, but there are weird parallels with Steven Crowder and someone that a few of us know. Anyway, so he's complaining about how they still bend the knee to big tech, and big tech, of course, can shut you right down. I've even had, there are times that I don't even put this show on YouTube anymore, because if I talk about certain subjects, even though I'm not violating YouTube's terms of service, the bots that police everyone's content, they'll give me a warning and say, well, you can't say that, even though I didn't say anything wrong. I just, if I talk about, and it's really two things. If I talk about COVID-19, I've been dinged for medical misinformation, even though I'm pro-vaccine and I take COVID very seriously. And the other one is if I talk about the 2020 election, I've gotten dinged by YouTube for disseminating false information about the 2020 election when I'm not an election denier, right? But so he claims that this conservative website that's supposed to be taking him on, they're actually beholden to big tech. And he says, that's great for liberals who want to silence all the conservatives. So he's very frustrated. But wait, it gets better, because we end up finding out exactly who the media company is that he's talking about, and that's where it gets really weird. But we have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connerton Unleashed. Who's this?
Ratso, it's me. It's live. It's Crazy Joe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm live. No tape.
Do you feel like Steven Crowder? Is that why you're calling? You do have some things in common with him.
I want to talk about Billy Painter, and also, just for a few seconds, and I was wondering if I could plug my YouTube channel, because I would love all the wonderful people from New Hampshire to come down and see a real professional at work.
Wow.
Will you grant me that or no? It's up to you, because you're the master of your show.
Before you do that, let's see here. I just have to, before you do that, let me just check something here. Sorry, I don't mean to,
you're up to no good over there.
I don't know.
See that.
I don't know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, go ahead.
You going to let me plug my YouTube channel?
Go ahead. I would never interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you were sure you did before. You cut me out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it's okay. I don't want to do it because I don't trust you.
Okay. Yes.
I know you're ready with the switch over there. So every time I get to it, you go.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Now, so I assume you're calling to say that you and Steven Crowder have a lot in common, and you feel his pain.
Well, I don't know who Steven Crowder is. I wanted to talk about Billy Painter for a few seconds because he's accusing me of being racist and anti-Semitic, and I know you have accused me of that too. And that's just false information, and I just wanted an opportunity to say I'm not, and that I have a black man working with me for the last couple of years as one of my technical advisors for the Crazy Joe Show. So I just wanted to deny accusations leveled against me by Billy Painter.
All right. So you're using the I have a black friend defense. I have heard that before.
No. I have a worker, not a friend. Well, he's a worker and a friend. But anybody that works with me, I consider a friend also.
Wow.
He's been with me for about 4 years now, and the Crazy Joe Show would be nothing without my friend. He's my technical guy. But nobody believes me because everybody throws lies at me, and I just, I mean, Matt, I try to respect you that you're a good, honest guy, and I want to know if that's possible that you could be, instead of throwing insults my way like you do in the past of accusing me of being racist and anti-Semitic.
I don't even talk about you anymore. There is.
Well, you do. I mean,
No, I don't.
When the tapes come on,
I literally don't.
Somebody sends a tape. I don't know who that person is.
We
but
don't.
You do talk about us a little bit on the air. Don't say you don't.
No, we actually we literally don't. But someone
You
is
literally
on,
do.
No, someone is on Skype though. Hello.
Hello, Matt. You know, it's quite funny.
Oh, that's that loser. That's Eric Pincher, who talks like he's got something down his throat.
Moving on. You know, Joe, I would like to clarify some things. You want to talk about Billy Painter, that's fine. You want to post
How come your girlfriend says that you're a mama's boy, and that you won't even have sex with her?
Okay,
What's
that's
the name?
we're done with that. All right, I hung up on him. How are you, Eric?
I'm good. Sorry I ended that, Matt. But
No,
since
that's-
I'm on Skype, you can actually continue talking about the story that I'm very interested in as well.
Well, let me ask you, how do you feel about Steven Crowder?
We actually kind of share the same opinion of Mr. Crowder. I think he does make some very interesting points. But I think at the end of the day, it's overshadowed by misogyny and racism.
Yes. Yeah, well, we're on the same page. I thought we might be.
But I really, you know, you were getting to it before you were interrupted by whatever that excuse of a human being was.
Well, he does have some things in common with Steven Crowder, so I think that's why he called. But
minus the talent and intelligence.
Yes.
But yeah, I will say Steven Crowder is very talented. He's very intelligent. Intelligent in the sense of how he has gotten to make a name for himself.
Yes.
The change my mind I really don't like, because to challenge someone to change your mind, you have to be open to changing your mind.
Right.
And Steven Crowder isn't. That would be like someone coming up to me saying, Eric, change my mind that Citizen Kane isn't one of the top, or coming to me saying, Eric, Citizen Kane isn't one of the top 3 movies of all time. Let me change your mind. No, you're not going to.
Right.
So why am I going to engage in that? But stuff like that is what happens on social media every second of every day.
Right.
It's debates, and neither side has an open mind enough to change their mind.
Right. True.
So, yeah, I think he could call it something else, like, let's argue and let me heavily edit it, but, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really shocked that the Blaze did not renew him, in the sense that they lost Tommy Lahren.
I didn't know that.
They lost a couple others, I think, minor players, but losing Steven Crowder is a big one to them.
Yeah, and we don't know any details about exactly what went down. Hopefully someday we'll find out. But yeah, well, so did you happen to see? Have you seen the video that that Crowder posted about this new media property?
I did not see it. But I did see the media property's response.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I'm very familiar with the media property that responded to him in, oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah,
This is going to be entertainment. This is going to be, if you are anyone who dislikes conservative talk, you're going to enjoy this battle.
Yeah, there's a Daily Beast article here that's short, but it kind of gets us caught up on what's happened here. It says right-wing blowhard Steven Crowder is accusing Ben Shapiro's media empire of being in bed with big tech, fighting words that have ignited a heated public dispute. So that's the headline. Here's what the article says. And an increasingly ugly and personal feud has publicly broken out this week between two of the biggest names in the conservative entertainment complex, with one popular YouTuber accusing right-wing media boy king Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire empire of colluding with big tech companies to tamp down right-wing content. Big tech is in bed with Big Con, Steven Crowder said in a video this week, complaining about a contract offer he'd received from the Daily Wire without specifically naming the company. A day after Crowder told his viewers to stop Big Con, the Daily Wire's chief executive, Jeremy Boring, I'm not sure how you say that. Do you know how to say this guy's name, Eric?
I do not. I'm only vaguely, very vaguely familiar with him.
I mean, it looks like
to Ben Shapiro.
What's that about Ben Shapiro?
Well, it's not that I dislike him. It's a lot of people in my circle listen to him. So it's one of those things I don't need to listen to him because every major point he makes is regurgitated to me. Yes.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. So this guy, Jeremy Boring, who is the chief executive at the Daily Wire, published an hour-long response video detailing the negotiating offer that the conservative media empire sent to Crowder's agent. Boring, besides confirming the Daily Wire had initially offered Crowder $50 million, claimed the podcaster misconstrued and misrepresented many of the details of the potential contract. He also took issue with Crowder accusing his side of doing the bidding of tech companies, insisting the Daily Wire has also been the victim of big tech's supposed one-sided censorship of conservative voices. A former Fox News personality and right-wing comedian, Crowder grew in popularity in recent years thanks to his trollish behavior, including meme-worthy Change My Mind segments, in which he sat outside of college campuses and challenged random people to switch his conservative positions on hot-button issues. Eventually, his Louder with Crowder online show was picked up by Glenn Beck's The Blaze and became one of the most popular political podcasts on Spotify and Apple. At the same time, he has regularly courted controversy by gleefully spewing homophobic, racial, and misogynist slurs on his program, prompting YouTube to repeatedly pull advertisements and demonetize his content on the platform. So he's still there, but he's demonetized. Last month, Crowder announced he was leaving The Blaze after 4 years, urging his fans, which he refers to as Mug Club, to sign up for updates on his personal site. At the time, he said he had known for months that he wasn't renewing with Beck's empire, but had nothing but praise for the right-wing media icon's fiefdom. While no longer with The Blaze, Crowder's shows continued independently, maintaining nearly 6 million YouTube subscribers and tallying more than 1 million subscriptions on Rumble, a YouTube alternative largely catering to right-wing audiences. By the way, I do put this show on Rumble. I don't belong there, but whatever. I don't care. It's kind of fun to crash the party. It says here, during his Tuesday broadcast, Crowder revealed that an unnamed conservative media company, which viewers quickly deduced to be the Daily Wire, sent him a contract offer. Without mentioning the monetary terms, Crowder groused that the contract included penalties if his show was demonetized, suspended, or removed from any major hosting and video sites. One portion of the contract that Crowder read that he shared with his audience said, quote, if any major platforms, for example, YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, issues a content strike other than a company-wide content strike, such that Crowder's content cannot be monetized on such platform, and the company is not able to resolve the issue within 90 days, then the fee will be reduced by 25% from that point forward. Unquote. So Crowder said, quote, now, I thought this was a mistake because, these people maybe didn't know who I am, that we've been demonetized for 3 years. Nope, it's made very clear to me in no uncertain terms, this is what they've sent to everybody. Think about this for a second. Those in charge, the big conservative, the big con, and it really is the biggest con going right now. They're making it known in their contracts that they will enforce the guidelines of big tech and punish conservatives on their behalf, unquote. There's more here, but go ahead, Eric. I'm sure you have thoughts.
I don't know if you touched base on it. I had an email I had to respond to real quick.
Yes.
But he compared it to slavery. And I'm a big fan of hyperbole, however you say it or want it said or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you can compare getting a $50 million offer to slavery.
Yes.
Something a little inaccurate about that.
Yeah, it seems a little tone deaf, frankly, yes.
Yeah, like, no, I'm sorry. No, it's like, I put it up there with the college athletes that compared getting scholarships to college and playing collegiate sports to slavery. It's like, no, you're getting a top-notch education at no charge. Yes, do I think you should? That's another discussion for another day, but it is not slavery.
Right.
You need a history lesson if that's the case.
Right.
I think Steven Crowder's barking up the wrong tree here.
Yeah, it's very strange, and I don't know what he thinks this does for him. I mean,
it doesn't make him any more desirable.
Right. Who wants to work with the guy now?
It's an unspoken rule in media that you do not discuss your contract or negotiations.
Right. Absolutely.
In regards to your contract, I'm not asking or nor do I need to know, or anyone else for that matter need to know, if you guys have contracts at WMNH. But it would be like you on your show, like, oh, well, I'm negotiating to stay on WMNH, and this is what they offered. Here's the contract. And it just opens a can of worms.
Yeah.
That is brutal. It can hurt the state. It can hurt the media outlet. So that right there. And the Daily Wire makes a great deal of their money from being monetized on social media.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. We have go ahead and finish your thought, Eric.
They make money from Patreon.
Oh,
they
yeah.
make money from YouTube. You can't sit there and expect them to change their business model because you're coming on board.
Right. We have a call. Let's see who's on the line here. Hi, welcome to Matt Connerton Unleashed. Who's this?
It's Ridley.
Oh, what's up, Dave Ridley?
Well, I think you're right. I mean, I'm against. I'm more against deplatforming than most people are, I think. But I don't see slavery here.
Yeah, it's I agree. I think we can all agree on that. Yes. Have you been following this story, or do you have an opinion on Steven Crowder?
No, I don't have. I haven't been following him, very closely. But it always comes back down to the same thing. I mean, as much as angry as we can get and deserve to be about deplatforming or restrictions by big tech, ultimately it is their property, and they do get to make the decision.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And everybody has a right to whether it's the Daily Wire or Asgard Radio, a platform that I know Eric is familiar with. They all have a right to make whatever rules they want to, and it's a little weird the way Steven Crowder has taken this this contract that he was offered with a $50 million price tag and gone public with it. It's all very strange, and it's go ahead, Eric.
I would like to add, though, to this that, that contract in the video that I skimmed through that Steven Crowder has looks to be pretty thick. So I would guess that $50 million is an incentive in a way for him to tone it down.
Oh. That could
because
be.
But with the language that was used, that, hey, it goes down by 25%, it in a way is saying, here it is.
Right.
Here is what your future can hold. We're investing in you. You need to give us something back. Where the Blaze has the opportunity to, they could say really whatever they want. They're not heavily monetized, where the Daily Wire is. So you're serving a different, and pardon the language here based on the slavery alliteration earlier, you're serving so many different masters.
That makes sense because now that you mention it, I can't imagine that a guy like Ben Shapiro would be okay with some of what Steven Crowder is used to being able to do on his show. Some of that would not fly on anything that Ben Shapiro wants to be associated with, I wouldn't think. I mean, I could be wrong. I was always a little surprised that Glenn Beck at The Blaze would be okay with some of that, but apparently he was.
We associate, in a way with this, we are associating with dealing with it, with being okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're two different monsters. I think Glenn Beck just dealt with it because of the ratings that were generated.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, you have to say, okay, how much am I willing to deal with?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, maybe that's why the contract ended. Maybe Glenn Beck reached a point where he wasn't willing to deal with it anymore because Crowder had become so toxic.
And that's what I'm thinking. That's a little bit of it. Ben Shapiro, the Daily Wire, they teeter on a line, but I've never, and I could be mistaken, I've never heard of them crossing that line between making your point and just being either tone deaf or blatantly unaccepting and narrow-minded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What say you, Dave Ridley?
Well, again, the problem is it's not the companies making bad decisions. That's not the problem. It's the fact that they've slammed the door behind them, and there's not enough companies to pick from to put your content on.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you try to start a new content company, they come after it. You know, like look what happened to Gab. Look what happened to look what's happening to Library right there in New Hampshire, where the SEC is shaking them down for $2 million when they tried to make an alternative to YouTube.
Yeah, although there are some successful ones too, like Rumble apparently is doing very well, from what I understand.
Have you ever tried putting a video on Rumble?
I put this show on Rumble every day.
Yeah, I tried to put mine. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off, Dave. I would like to add that Rumble was actually spearheaded by another conservative talk show host, Dan Bongino.
Oh, I didn't know that. I can't stand him. I have no use for that guy.
Oh man, Matt, it's taken us over a year, but we have a disagreement. I have a soft spot in my heart for Dan Bongino.
Do you? Yeah.
There are some things I'm like, oh boy, but I think he's very entertaining.
Yeah, maybe I haven't seen enough of him. He just, what I've seen, I haven't liked. But what were you going to say, Dave?
Well, I do appreciate what Rumble's trying to do, and I have tried to put my content there too. But what I found was I was only able to get about 2/3 of my videos uploaded. Something would happen, something would go wrong with 1/3 of the videos, and after it uploads, it would get, the video would get maybe 20 hits, 30 hits. And that's after uploading there for maybe 2 years. I eventually gave up on it. And again, there's problems with Odyssey. There's problems with BitChute. Ultimately it came down to the typical problem where YouTube became a monopoly and then eventually abused their monopoly. By just they've come after everyone now. It seems like. Did you guys follow John Michael Gauthier?
I'm not familiar. How about you, Eric? Do you know him?
I am not, no.
He's the most innocuous YouTuber ever to I wouldn't call him milquetoast because he's very interesting. But the reason he's interesting is because he's doing science. It's just astronomy. It's just the latest astronomy news. It's just hard science. Very open-minded, very nice guy. He's a sci-fi author. He's just wonderful. And he will stay away from politics until you stick a fork in him, and then okay, I'll do it. Because sometimes it just comes up in science, right?
Yeah.
They've come for him, right? It's not that they haven't deplatformed him, but there's stuff he's not allowed to say. You're starting to hear him talk about it on YouTube, like, oh, and this thing I would like to tell you about, I actually can't talk about that, and this other thing I can't talk about. Oh, and there's these. He's been messed with. If he's been messed with, that means they've messed with everyone.
Well, I think a big part of the problem with YouTube is the bots. These bots pick up things and they don't know what they're actually picking up. And then because I've had problems, I know Eric's heard me talk about it. I don't know if you've heard me mention it, Dave, but there are some days where I don't put this show on YouTube. The two things that I've been dinged for repeatedly is, well, not repeatedly, but really only a couple of times, but it discouraged me from putting the show on YouTube every day. The two subjects are COVID-19. I've been dinged for a medical misinformation, even though I'm very pro-vaccine and I take COVID very seriously. But I think what happens is if I quote something somebody else said, or I refer to something somebody else said that's maybe anti-vaccine, I get dinged for it, and then I appeal it, and I guess another bot reviews the appeal and says, nope, you violated our TOS. That's one. And the other one is the 2020 election, because you're not allowed on YouTube to spread election denialism. I don't do that. I do the opposite. But I've been dinged for spreading false information about the 2020 election, probably because, again, I referred to somebody else, somebody else said, and then the bots pick that up and say, oh, this guy's doing this. And then so now if either of those two subjects come up, or if I mention them at all, so for example, today's show, I will not be putting on YouTube because I just brought those two subjects up, even in passing, I get dinged for it. So there is something really wrong there. Yeah.
It's like George Orwell said, if there's one forbidden idea, then all ideas are at risk because they could lead to the forbidden idea.
That's very true.
Be a good name for a band. Forbidden Idea.
That was my name. So that's why I had a little music gig going for a while. I was Dada Orwell.
Oh! I was going to say the Forbidden Idea. I envision it as sort of something electronic.
Oh, that also would be good. Yeah,
maybe a synthwave project.
No, yeah. You should my videos are all my songs are still on YouTube though. You go to YouTube and type Dada Orwell. I was pretty good. I know I never call in about music, but
that song you did about Bill Clinton, "Hail to the Creep," is that on YouTube still?
That's me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I'm surprised you've had. See, I also put the show on BitChute, and I never have any trouble. And I actually get a lot of hits on BitChute, even though
BitChute. BitChute is doing the best. It's getting the most traffic. It seems to be. It's become reliable. It was more like it had problems about a year ago. The only problem it still has is sometimes it takes a while for stuff to upload, but that's nothing to complain about. I really do appreciate BitChute. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if some of this is your internet connection, because anything I put, I mean, it's a 2-hour show. When I put it on Rumble or BitChute, it uploads really quickly, and I never have an issue. Is it your your connection? Maybe, Dave?
Well, I may be dating myself because I haven't uploaded that much stuff in the last couple months, so things may have improved.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like I said, and I don't, like I said before, I don't even really fit on Rumble. You know what I mean? But I like being the fly in everyone's ointment. So I mean, it's not like you're restricted from, if you're not a conservative. So I go ahead and put the show up there. And so on nobody ever really comments on Rumble though, but on BitChute I get some really nasty comments from people because people probably they sample the content and then they realize I'm not one of them, and then they get angry and then they say mean things to me in the comments, and I just laugh. I think it's fun because I don't care. Whatever, say what you want. You know what I mean? It's kind of neat.
Matt, it's me. It's
Is it
my
you?
burner account.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. I didn't know. So why? Okay. Well, now that I know it's you, why do you type everything in all caps with lots of exclamation
I gotta get
points?
my point across.
I guess so. Oh, Crystal in the chat room says, I've heard Pantheon is good for uploads without dings, Matt. I'm not familiar with Pantheon. Do you guys know that? Patheon?
I have heard of Pantheon. I've never used it.
Okay. Huh, I'll have to look that up. You ever hear of that, Dave?
No.
Jason Fedderson asked, do you ever upload anything to YouPorn? No, I don't believe I would be allowed there either. But that probably, well, that's more a subject for the other show. But anything else on your mind, Dave Ridley?
Well, yes, but I'll call some other time. I've taken enough up enough.
Okay. All right. No worries, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Nice
Thanks,
talking with you, Dave.
Good to meet you, Eric.
All right. Very good.
Likewise.
Oh, Dave, give the Ridley Report or whatever you want a plug before you go. I forgot to let you do your plug.
Oh, well, strike the root of all these problems. Make New Hampshire independent. And go to nhexit.us.
All right. Very good. All right, Dave. Thanks for the call.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that was our friend Dave Ridley. If you'd like to chime in, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Eric Pilcher is with us on Skype. And before we'll go a little bit past the top of the hour. We'll hold off on the break a little bit because I want to get to the really interesting part. And you referred to it, Eric. Steven Crowder posted this video complaining about everything in his Daily Wire contract that he was offered without ever actually mentioning the Daily Wire, but everyone figured out that's who it is. So then this guy, Jeremy, it looks like Boring the way his name is spelled. I don't know if, I hate to say that about him. He seems like a nice guy, but so he posted a response, and I'd never seen anything like this in my life, Eric. He posted a full 1 hour. I haven't even watched the full thing yet, actually going through the entire contract and explaining what Steven Crowder got wrong and what he's confused about. And I think it's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. But I want to get your thoughts. But first, Easy G is on the line. Hello, Eric.
Hey, I was spoken to a long time there, Eric.
Yes, hi, Easy G.
I got a bone to pick with you. You said there's no wrestling fans that call the show. I consider myself one of the biggest wrestling fans I know.
Well, I didn't. It wasn't meant as a slight, Easy G.
Yeah, I know. I'm just BSing.
It was a majority of the audience that listens to the show isn't a fan of pro wrestling.
True. I know the guy in Florida there. What's his name there, Matt?
Charles Richardson from the Charles
He's a
Richardson
big
Show.
fan, and believe it or not, there's a couple of fans here at the nursing home I found out last couple of days.
What does Bruce think? Is he a big fan?
He is, believe it or not.
I believe it.
I was on the COVID restrictions. I heard the talk of the AEW. I was awake last night for some reason. I listened to the whole show of AEW. I haven't done that ever.
Wow. Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. The champion there, you know why he's a champion? Because he is good with the microphone. Whenever they give a microphone, a guy can speak over the microphone. I don't know if you agree with this, Eric, like Hogan was. A guy like that can talk on the TV like the champion of AEW. They give him the belt.
Must be the money.
Same with EST there. She's collected the belts a couple times, as you well know. One of the best wrestlers, according to Matt. I agree. Good for business.
Yes. Eric, Easy
I'm sorry.
Easy G, do you have any thoughts on Steven Crowder?
I was listening, but I wasn't really understanding.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
What's going on?
What do you think, Eric? Should we recap the last hour for Easy G?
Yeah, I think you can pick up that. Well, anyways, I'll leave you with just two thoughts. It looks like the Undertaker is making an appearance next Monday, which is great. I love the Undertaker. Hey, have you ever seen him live, Eric?
Yes, I actually have seen The Undertaker live on a couple of occasions.
Oh, my God. So good.
Yeah, you really like The Undertaker, don't you?
One of the best.
Yeah.
I want to leave you with this thought, Matt. And Eric, what do you think the odds of Vince McMahon showing up on Monday Night Raw this Monday for the 30th anniversary?
I think the odds are pretty good. What do you think, Eric?
Yup. His ego will preclude him from doing anything but appearing.
I think the only thing he'll do is like he did a while back. He'll do the "Welcome to Monday Night Raw," and then he'll leave.
Yeah, I'd like him to leave and stay gone.
That's what I think he's going to do before everybody can say boo.
No, he
just settled. I'm not going to announce the word, but he just settled another case. You're not going to get into it, but
yeah,
you can use your imagination.
Yep.
But anyways, I'm not going to talk about that guy that called up New York because I don't want to give him any acknowledgement. So we'll leave it at that. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, Easy G leaves us, and always nice to hear from Easy G. Yeah, I was saying. So yeah, the guy from the Daily Wire, the CEO there, he puts out this full 1 hour video going through the entire contract. I haven't even watched the whole video yet. I think I got about halfway through it. It was very late at night because I'm usually up late, and I was falling asleep, not because I was bored, not at all. I actually find the whole thing fascinating. But have you watched the whole thing, Eric?
I have not. I've only read on the fine points of his online ethering of Steven Crowder. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you say... We live in a society now where sometimes if you do stupid things, you're not really punished for them.
Right.
But Steven Crowder should be called out like this.
Yeah.
Like, this is the conservative talk version of a diss track.
You're right.
This is up there. This video is up there with Tupac's "Hit 'Em Up" or Nas's "Ether" or Ice Cube's "No Vaseline." That's where this is at in the conservative talk.
We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connerton Unleashed. Who's this? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, so what was the problem? What's wrong with the word SEX?
Yeah, you were bringing up subjects we're not going to discuss here, sir.
Oh, is that the problem? It wasn't the word itself, SEX?
It's yeah. We just we don't do that here. Yeah.
In other words, it was the subject, not the word SCX.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't like where that was
And
going.
what am I supposed to say? See, this is the leftist attitude. We have no freedom of speech, no free expression. I mean, come on, Matt.
Joe,
are you really
it's
that
not
bad when it comes
attitude. It's
to clogging up the airways with what you want to talk about?
Being.
You don't want to give people a chance who are the opposite people?
Joe, how do you...
Yeah, you know what, Joe? For once, you and I agree on something. It took over a year. We do agree. Let me explain. You are the opposite. You are the opposite of a respectable human being. Yes, unlike Matt and I, and Billy, and Jenny, and everyone else you have ridiculed and made fun of, we are respectable human beings with credibility, with talent, and that show people dignity and care and compassion every day. Unlike a knuckle-dragging mouth breather, such as yourself, that sits here and has to ridicule everyone with every chance you get. So yes, Joe, we are on the opposite side of things. I'm a part of civilized society, and
yeah, sure
human
you are.
beings, you are a part of pond scum.
You got fantasies, boy.
What? Joe, how do you feel about Must Be the Money by Deion Sanders? Do you like that song?
Yeah, I like anything you play.
Do you? You like this?
Yeah, why not?
It's got to be because I got people who want to be my friend. People I never knew. People I never thought about associating with. I don't know what it is.
I'm surprised. I didn't think that was your style.
It's not, but if you play it, it's okay.
Thank you. Wow, that's amazing. You flatter me.
The best thing I can say to you today.
Okay. All right.
So how do I become a Matt Connington associate? I want to join the leftist liberal movement that you have on WMNH?
I don't think I'm really a leftist liberal. Well, I think I'm kind of, I would describe myself as probably, if you want to put me on a spectrum, I'm sort of center left, but with a big dash of libertarian. I don't know. What do you think, Eric? How would you describe me?
I would certainly not consider you to be a liberal, just like I wouldn't consider Billy Painter to be a communist, leftist, Marxist, or myself that. I am a conservative Republican. And I have not adopted any of the Connerton quote-unquote liberal ideals, as you so delicately put it.
That's right.
Well, I do have a concern, though, for you, Matt.
You have a concern for me?
I've been getting to the grapevine that you posted on IPM that I was fired from Asgard Radio.
We don't post any such information, sir.
Right, because I'm trying to get the other side to prove it to me. But I thought I'd ask you as a man.
Oh, as a man?
Right. Can you be truthful with me?
Oh. Would I lie to you? Would I lie to you?
I don't know.
Would I lie to you, Joe? By
the way, if you did, I was not fired from Asgard. I quit after 2 shows.
And you're whopping 3 listeners over those 2 shows.
What did the parrot say? I know that's Matt's parrot. What did he say?
No, I said, and I've seen the evidence, that you're whopping 3 listeners over the 2 shows you had on Asgard Radio.
Listen,
let's have that.
Why do you lie so much? Why don't you stop lying and tell the truth for once in your pathetic life?
I'm based on the information and the evidence I have. I am speaking the truth, Jose.
No, you don't. That's right. I am Jose. What about it? You want to make something of it, of my name?
I've seen that information as well.
Crazy Jose.
I did not have 3 listeners. According to the owner, I had 273 listeners that were in and out. The average listener, and you know this, Matt, you're in radio, listens for 30 seconds. My show was listened for 1 hour and 30 minutes. So you can stick that there, Eric.
Oh, I have an explanation for that. See, listening to you on the radio is something that we call bowel-inducing. I think a lot of people were constipated and just listened to you to relieve themselves.
Well, that's we don't want to get into I don't want to get dinged again on YouTube for medical misinformation, so we don't need to
that is not a medical that is just something that I would guess.
Listen, you're just a jealous little boy. When are you going to stop being jealous of me? I know you admire me. I know you love me. So why don't you just tell the truth?
Wait a minute.
You really love me, Eric.
I have a weekly respected segment on this radio station. Let's put that into context.
That's
I have interviewed Dana White, Tito Ortiz. I have interviewed NFL Hall of Famers, state senators, representatives, mayors, governors.
Like you.
Why would I look up to you in any
all boring
way,
people
shape,
just like
or
you?
Form?
You got no personality, Eric. You're as boring as looking at I don't know. What's the most boring thing you can look at, Matt?
Well, that's subjective. Some people,
like maybe a brick building, and you stare at it for like an hour.
Some people like brick.
I think you would get bored after the first 5 minutes.
Well,
looking at it.
I would think, Joe, that if I was so boring and so awful that I wouldn't have that weekly segment anymore, that Matt would sit down with me as a professional, like I know he is, and say, hey, this isn't working out. And to be frank with you, in the world of media, I have had that discussion with people before.
Yeah, but you're nothing but internet. You've never been on a real station. That's why you're Matt's parrot.
Well, wait.
You do everything Matt tells you to do, and you kiss his butt for it.
That doesn't.
Because you're internet. You're internet. You're not on the real radios. Nobody's ever heard of. Eric Pincher. Nobody's ever heard of you, just like nobody's heard of me. Now, Matt has a chance because he's on a real FM station, but you're not, and you never will be.
But Joe, that doesn't make sense. Eric's weekly segment is on my show on an FM station. What you're saying doesn't make sense. Yeah, he is on an FM station. He has a weekly segment on my show on an FM station.
Oh, well, that's because you feel sorry for the poor kid.
No, it's a very...
I understand that.
No, it's a very popular segment. It truly is. We get a ton of great feedback on it.
Well, what kind of segment is it? He's reviewing movies that are 100 years old that everybody's interested in New Hampshire? I mean, New Hampshire's boring enough.
The movie I've reviewed, Joe, is 80 years old, and it was Casablanca.
Oh, I like Casablanca. Great movie.
Well, there you go. See? We've built a bridge. That's wonderful.
Yeah. It was a
Excellent.
great movie. I was fascinated with it.
Well, see, we've really made some progress here today. That's wonderful.
I think so.
Yeah, I feel good about
Because
it.
if Eric didn't admire me, why does he imitate me so much with that voice of his? Yeah, I'm Crazy Joe. I mean, what the hell, you know? If he didn't admire me.
I don't think I've ever heard Eric imitate you ever.
Oh yeah, he has called into the show and pretended to be me.
Sir.
Are you talking about? Are you talking? Oh, you're talking about somebody else. That wasn't Eric, Joe.
No, it was Eric.
Yeah. No, I think he's talking about that Crazy Joe Rabinowitz.
Yes. Yes. Oh, by the way,
Yeah, Eric was always imitating me. I'm Crazy Joe.
Melanie,
With that voice of his.
Melanie in the chat room says, if I'm being honest, Eric Pilcher is the reason I tune in every day. See?
But that's okay. That's the kind of people you have in New Hampshire. I guarantee you that if I was on WMNH without the cursing and whatever else I do, shock jock,
Uh-huh.
I would be the #1 station in New Hampshire. Matter of fact, I think I should get a job, in New Hampshire.
Uh-huh.
You guys are not even in the top 20 of New Hampshire radio, and I could be across the street from you, and I'll have a station, and I won't say bad things. I won't say nothing racist.
Uh-huh.
I won't say nothing. I'll just be Crazy Joe, the great DJ.
Wow.
And you know what, Matt? I hate to say this,
Mhm.
and Eric,
Mhm.
but I'll do you guys by 10-1. Because you guys are boring. Now, Matt, you are talented in a lot of ways. You prepare for the show. You know what to talk about. You're a smart guy.
Thank you.
But you're not fun like I am. You're boring.
You don't think I'm fun? I just played Must Be the Money by Deion Sanders. You don't get more fun than that.
Right.
You don't
Well,
get
that was fun.
Yeah, you don't get more fun. Come on. Right, Eric?
And you are entertaining, Matt. What do you think I like you for?
Money is
I
energetic.
actually respect you, Matt. I think you're
I'm
a charming
gonna drop
guy.
off the line because
But when it comes to real radio, I could
Wait.
outdo you. That's all.
I go ahead, Eric. I turned him down.
Okay, I'm going to drop off the line because there's an interested party that's trying to Skype in.
Oh, okay.
But I would like to say that I just got a nice message from Easy G saying I'm a big fan of your movie segments and you too. So thank you, Easy G.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'm dropping off the line now so they can come on.
Time, man.
All right.
Jesus, I'm getting vomity.
All right, Eric. Nice speaking with you. All right. Well, that was our friend Eric Pilcher from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Somebody else is trying to call. All right, Joe. Anything to? We gotta get moving here. Anything to add?
All right. Well, listen, I want to thank you very much for letting me hang out with you guys.
Always a pleasure.
And I like you, Matt. I do. I really respect you.
Well, thank
You're
you.
a very nice man. You got that wonderful voice.
I am a nice man. Thank you.
And I
try
like
hard.
you. And I wish we were real friends, but I know that's never going to happen. And it's unfortunate.
Well, you say some things
It
that
really
are a
is,
little
Matt.
make it a little difficult.
I'm not embarrassed to say that I admire your style. I didn't mean to say that I would be #1.
Uh-huh.
It's just that my show and my persona would be #1 in New Hampshire. That's all. I'm
Uh-huh.
not trying to insult you.
You are what New Hampshire is clamoring for. I understand.
Well, I wish you would help me. See, you have the juice to promote me in New Hampshire and to give me a chance, but it's never going to happen. And even though I promised I would sign a contract that I don't say nothing bad, I know about terrestrial radio, Matt. I've been listening to it my whole life since I was 5 years old. I know the rules. What do you think?
Will Vegas in the chat room. Hi, Will. Will says, "Happy Thursday, folks. Both callers have similar voices. Sounds like one guy arguing with himself. Stay in filth pot of New York. You." I don't know if I can say that on the air. I mean, it's not a swear, but
You can't say it on the air. I know there's another jealous guy that
No, Will Vegas.
I know how New Hampshire don't like New Yorkers.
Will Vegas is a wonderful man. I had to see him recently to get my check engine light diagnosed. We love Will Vegas. Does a lot for the community.
Okay. That sounds great.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Well, we're going to let you go. We got to move on.
Thank you, man. I appreciate your time, man. All right?
Oh, you're welcome.
And I'll do the best not to get censored by you.
Yes. Wow. Okay. Exciting.
I'll do the best I can, okay? I'm
Sure.
not perfect.
All right. Well, no one's no one expects you to be. Okay.
And believe it or not, I like Jenny. She's very beautiful.
Yes, of course she is.
She's a very sexy young lady.
Yes. Yes, she is. All right, we got to go.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right. Billy, I see you in the chat room. Yeah, we really do have to get moving. So that's why, I mean, you're welcome to call in, but although not about that, because we don't talk about him when he's not on with us, as I've been told. Hi, welcome to Matt Connerton Unleashed. Who's this?
Maddie, how are you?
I'm good. Who's this?
It was so great to hear from Joe. Joe from New York, who is just a treat to listen to. Whew!
Uh-huh.
Matt, why don't you like me?
What's that?
Why don't you like me, Matt?
Who is this?
Why did we fall off the wagon, my friend?
Oh, I know who this is.
What's up?
Well, I'm not supposed to actually speak to you on the air, unfortunately. I've not been.
That's awesome, dude.
I've not been told different. So
what are you gonna do? You gonna hang up or are we gonna talk?
Well, we can't talk here. I mean, we can talk, but we cannot talk here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a thing. That's the thing. You're not even allowed to speak to me?
That is what I've been told. You are...
All right. Well, everybody catch me February 11th at the Shack.
All right. Sorry. That individual, I have been told, and I will certainly speak with him off air if he wants to, but the last thing that I was told about that particular individual, and this is a direct quote, he's dead to us. So that is not my policy. That is what I was told. So it is nothing personal against that person, but that is what I was informed. So I didn't actually recognize his voice at first, but then I realized who it was. Too bad, because it's someone who I miss, but you know, it's the way the cookie crumbles, as we say. Let's see. Boy, what an interesting, Jenny in the chat says there is something in the air today. There sure is. All right. We've got to finish this, Steven Crowder thing, and then we will, get to break. But so what happened? And by the way, I do apologize, sincerely to Billy Painter for not getting in. Oh, he's on the line. Hey, Billy.
What's going on?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. I'm just going to clear the air without mentioning any names.
Okay.
I'm going to say really quick that my father never abandoned me. He died. There's a big, big difference there.
Yes.
So let's just get that out of the way, because I know that individual is listening.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you wanted to break down political parties. Well, Matt, I would have to say your political views are center-left, whereas mine are center-right, more libertarian, and I'll just say that.
Yes. It is good to clarify. Some people think that anyone who doesn't think like they are is automatically a liberal, and it's strange.
Either you're a liberal, or you're a communist, or you're a alt-right Nazi, or whatever.
Right. Oh my God! Eric Pilcher just posted in the chat room. David Crosby just died. Oh, that's terrible. Sorry, Billy. I didn't mean to interrupt. I saw that pop up. I was shocked.
Well, let me check Google while I can. Let me see here.
I know that he had just released an album not long ago, a new solo album, and I heard his interview with Howard Stern about it, and it was really good. But Crosby seemed to his health was not great.
Yeah, he died like 15 minutes ago.
Yep, age 81. Oh, that's sad. That's very sad. I was a big fan
of. That was a concert. I'll tell you real quick, Matt. Too it was back in late 1990, and when I was just starting my freshman year in high school. I was talked into going to a Crosby, Stills, and Nash concert, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to go. I went reluctantly, but in the end, I'll tell you what, I sure didn't regret it.
Yeah.
And then a month later, Neil Young was holding an acoustical charity concert at the very same place. So, yeah, I got to see Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Neil Young, but not the four of them together.
Yeah. I never got to see them either as a threesome or a foursome, unfortunately, and obviously now there's no chance to do that. But yeah, no, that's sad. Not terribly shocking. Like I said, when he was on Howard, his interview on Howard Stern, which was within the last year, he didn't. I don't remember him explicitly saying it, but he kind of hinted that he was concerned about his health. But 81 years old too. I mean, and a rock star. Obviously he didn't always live cleanly necessarily. So, yeah, but that's sad though.
No, he didn't have the healthiest diet either, unfortunately. I don't know. He lived out to 81, and that's no spring chicken. He did live a pretty long, decent life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll also say too, it was after watching Stephen Stills, it made me want to go out and get a guitar.
Oh, Stephen Stills, one of his solo song, Southern Cross, probably one of my, probably would be in my top 10 of favorite songs of all time. I can, no matter how many times I hear it, I never get sick of it. But that's, and they never, who was it? Oh, it was Graham Nash, right? That David Crosby had the problem with, Graham Nash and Neil Young as well. And they, unfortunately, they never, unless it's something we don't know, they never had an opportunity to truly reconcile, which is too bad.
I don't know anything about their altercations or anything like that. I never really followed up on them.
Yeah.
But I mean, this always happens in the industry, so I mean, it's tough to keep up on stories like that.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I will leave you to your show, and to that individual, I'll just say hello.
Very good. All right, Billy, thank you. I appreciate the call.
You bet.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, that's our friend Billy Painter, also known as Bad Billy from Outlaw Radio, and he also he's got a new program too that he's developing with John Grosvenor, I think is how you pronounce it, from the radio station in Nashua. They're going to be doing a show together online, which is very cool. Billy's got a lot going on. He used to be on Asgard Radio. Miriam says in the chat room, I know who that was on the phone right before Billy. One of those wayward children. Yeah. It's funny because I was talking about him with someone just recently. Eric Pilcher says, I would like to say I was enjoying the Crowder conversation. Sorry it went off the rails, everyone. Yeah, it's part of the adventure of live radio, though. Melanie says, today's show has the weirdest flow ever. I don't know about that, Melanie. I've had some shows with some pretty weird flow before. Herman Street says, we say that we are covering some good songs, #Matt. And also, we were watching a movie of the Fabulous Baker Boys. Very good. Well, let's do this. We'll get to a break, and then I want to get to the last part of the Steven Crowder thing, because it's what I think the most interesting part of this whole story. I'm going to play a little Ricky Mapleton. this song Outside Looking In. He was a guest on the show recently, and he right now is working on a new theme song for Matt Connerton Unleashed with some vocals. Really looking forward to that. But let's do this. We're going to play a little bit of Ricky Mapleton, and then we're going to show some love to our amazing sponsors, and then we'll come back with our final segment today on Matt Connerton Unleashed.
I'm outside looking in, outside looking in. It ain't no sin if you're outside looking in. Why don't you help me? Waiting for the key to turn, waiting for someone to burn. Kicking my life away ain't the way it's gonna stay when you're outside looking in, waiting for the big sin. Now I'm outside looking in. Why don't you take me where my voice can be heard? Why don't you take me where my voice can be heard? Outside looking in, waiting for the fun to begin, waiting for life that is no sin when I'm looking for a way in. But now I'm just outside looking in, outside looking in, outside looking in, waiting for the key to turn, waiting for someone to burn, waiting for our love to simmer. Don't you know I'll be the winner? Hey yo, I'm outside looking in, outside looking in now. Take a good look at yourself and you'll see someone else in the mirror. Don't breathe too hard, you might fog it up and then it'll be over. Chump changing for you, don't you know that much is true when you're outside looking in? You're waiting for the light to begin, to begin, to begin. Do it, do it, do it. Break down the door and do it. Break down the door, 'cause I don't know what you're thinking. I just know that love ain't flicking. Things just might be sticking when you're outside looking in, outside looking in, waiting for the fun of life to begin. But you should see it without going through someone else's door. Close it up, and one thing's for sure, make sure you're looking at the second door, the second door, the second door.
Kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Clemento's Pizza Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria.
For delivery, call 603-782-8450.
Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town.
1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Best cocktails around.
Come in as friends and leave as family.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Matt Connerton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, merch, and more. Today is Thursday, January 19, 2023. By the way, if you happen to be local in Manchester listening, there is a snow emergency. They have called a snow emergency for tonight. We're supposed to get some snow, not a big blizzard or anything. We've been pretty lucky so far this winter, actually, but this is going to be, I think, 4 to 6 or 4 to 8 inches was the last thing I heard. So nothing too terrible, but enough so that you will have to get your car off the street so they can plow. And they were treating the roads earlier, so they're ahead of it. They've been doing a pretty good job. Although this winter, so far so good overall. It's been a pretty easy one. And there is sad news, of course, to report as we mentioned before the break. But if you're just joining us and you haven't seen the news, David Crosby has passed away at age 81. TMZ reporting David Crosby, the singer-songwriter and guitarist and member of the Byrds and Crosby, Stills and Nash, has died. His wife, Jan Dance, told Variety, quote, "It is with great sadness after a long illness that our beloved David has passed away. He was lovingly surrounded by his wife and soulmate Jan and son Django. Although he is no longer here with us, his humanity and his kind soul will continue to guide and inspire us." And we have a call. I believe my dad is on the line. Hello.
Hi, Matty. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yes. How are you?
Yeah, I think this is the second phone in a row from Verizon. I like Verizon, but I've got to take this in. There's something off with this thing. It shut down on me the other day completely.
Oh.
But anyway, if you can hear me, I'll just bend to hear you. I'll be brief. I wanted to say a couple of things. First of all, your discussion with Jenny, it was really good, classic dialogue. Martin Buber would commend you all. But between Jenny, you, and John on the terrible situation in China, I won't go into all that. But as they continue to move, I appreciate your acknowledging that the FBI, Christopher Wray, I'm not a fan, Matt, but they need to do so much more. You know, they have a big police station, a Chinese police station in New York City. Were you aware of that?
Well, yeah, we had talked about that on the show a few months ago, but I remember when I had first stumbled upon that, I was very surprised that was a thing. Because I had no idea prior to that.
Oh, most of us didn't, Matt. Yeah, no, I learned about it late. but they don't do anything about it. And then the Chinese are buying up the Chinese government now with their agents, whom they would say are capitalists on a leash, But they're buying up property all over America, particularly farmland. And that's ominous, too. But the whole... and John, I don't always agree with John, as you know, and I don't always agree with his reasoning. But that's okay, so we can have a dialogue, and that's what life is about, and a free country should be about that, Matt. But he was right on. Geez, I can't believe I said that. But he was absolutely accurate in his description of China. Of course, and Jenny was accurate, too, in terms of their one-child approach, and actually murdering baby girls who had been born or had an abortion that had gone wrong. The violence level there is incredible. So I just wanted to point out that in Davos, Switzerland, a place I love to go for vacations. No, I'm kidding, of course. If I can make it to Manchester for a vacation, that would be good.
Right.
The budget is circumscribed, indeed. But, did I say budget? I get heart palpitations when I think of the 1.7 so-called trillion. It's more like $2 trillion. And Mike Doyle spoke to that yesterday. I heard that show. That was very good. I agree with him 100%. And I agree with you on the debt ceiling issue. Yeah. But we need to have better spending practices. And I hope to God, I was going to say this, it's a little parenthetical, but it's related, that they defund that 87,000 dudes, I say that generically and sarcastically, from the IRS now that are coming out with guns. I just unbelievable. As concerned as I am personally, Matt, about China and philosophically about China, theologically about them, the real issue is coming from within America. I don't have time to go into all of that, and we may disagree on that, but there is some real pernicious power and control issues that are taking place. And that's why I mentioned Davos. Christopher Wray's over there with John Kerry. You probably like that guy. I think he's a terrible dope. I go on offense on that, but we won't get into all that. But what they're doing is they're running down America. They're into this climate change cult. And you know who was there? It's pathetic, I actually voted for the guy in 2000, but Al Gore. What the hell has happened to Al Gore? He's turned into a screaming lunatic. But we have to be careful with that, because here's my point. Klaus Schwab, your audience could Google him, Klaus Schwab. This guy is a socialist who pretends to be a capitalist, but they're all into this. And John spoke to this critically. I appreciate that, John. Shout out to John.
Oh, wow.
When he was talking about this, he said, globalism has hurt sovereignty, obviously, and it has hurt America terribly. It has hurt the West. But these guys don't care. This is power, control, and money for them, and then they're going to try to come up with this socialistic with socialism per se. I don't want to mince words with that one, and control the economies in the West with digital currency. Ultimately, that's one plan. That's not their only plan, but the plan is power and control. So, okay, Al Gore goes over there and spouts this, how dare you? Who was that? So anyway, but what's Christopher Wray doing over there? So this is my point, Matt. The FBI has become corrupt and irresponsible. They'll probably be knocking at my door as a veteran. I don't care. They are out of line. And there's a book by Thomas Hughes, a former FBI expert and supervisor, called The Downfall of the FBI and its corruption. And people should read that. Google that and read that. So I just wanted to get that out there. We might have different feelings, and it's not a matter of feelings. It's a matter of will and intellect and prudence. But great dialogue, though, Matt. That was good broadcasting on Monday and yesterday with Mike Doyle. That was excellent. You listen, you respond. I mean, DJ Reckless does that as a 21-year-old. I'm very impressed. I just want to affirm that for your national and international audience.
Yes. Yes, we're very proud of DJ Reckless.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Whenever I see him on a post on, I get in trouble with Facebook all the time now because of my politics, but you say one little thing. You think it's the robots, the bots that are following that, if they're critical of my criticism of the Biden and the left?
I don't know why that would happen, because plenty of people, I mean, there's plenty of conservatives on Facebook. So I don't know. I don't know why that would happen. I mean, I do know a little bit about being hassled by bots, because like I was talking earlier in the show about, I've had problems with YouTube with that kind of thing. Oh yeah,
man, that's right.
But but I don't know why they'd be bothering you. I don't see how anything you post would. I don't know why they'd be deleting your posts or anything like that.
Yeah, I think they have deleted my posts, but now what they're doing is, I'll shut up on this note. I don't mind. I mean, it's, as Jenny says, with some irony, I think, but it's free, and there are positive things from Facebook, but for sure. But I don't know. I don't know. If I had more money and, I go to this. I think if I had more money and power, and I wasn't just a clinical social worker, they wouldn't come after me so much. But what they do is they just say, you're restricted. You can't post for, a week or 2 weeks. Like
Facebook
that.
jail.
And it goes back to the thing.
Yeah.
But, Maddie, I wanted to, I don't want to take up too much time. So, we agree to disagree on some issues, but Mike Doyle's point yesterday I thought was well taken, and you agreed with that. We've got to do something about this horrible spending in Washington, and it's just, it's beyond the pale. It's unreasonable. All right, so I wanted to share a story, though, because I saw that post by Eric on the movie reviews coming up for February, because, of course, it's a great month. Mm-hmm. We're getting closer to spring. That's one thing, but it's Black History Month, and we want to honor our African American brothers and sisters on both sides of the aisle. And there are many constitutional conservatives like your dad who are African American. I've mentioned some of the scholars, and I'll be glad to do that again at some point. But I wanted to tell you this story. This is for you and the audience. I think you get a kick out of it. I don't think I've ever told you this one.
Okay.
And if I have, forgive me.
Sure.
But this goes to the point, I sort of come up with this, don't be distracted by anxiety when you have a good cause going on. That's a little abstract and vague, I know, but I love Bob Dylan. So, but here's the point, I'll be very brief. So, at a certain mental health center, you'll know the mental health center, because of confidentiality, I'm going to be careful with this, but
yeah.
I became director of the dual recovery program at a time when it was innovative. And long story short, we were very successful. We got a lot of heat, a lot of resistance. And I'm going to say one name, he's passed, but Dr. Jim Farah, the medical director at Hampstead Hospital, helped me with this tremendously. At first he said, no, Marty, we've tried this, so we want to blend the AA community and rational recovery with cognitive therapies, and he said it won't work. And then he said, I was able to get the Foxes involved. Some of you will know who the Foxes are, who became my mentors, and he changed his mind and helped me with this. So what happened was I got appointed to the directorship of the dual recovery program, and then I volunteered to do this bi-monthly community events, education and dialogue structure. So I would do that. I would call people. We try to get, for example, Mildred Jefferson. A lot of your viewers won't know who Dr. Mildred Jefferson is. You should Google her. She was a great African-American scholar and medical doctor and advocate for life. That's the side that I'm on. I'm not going to go into all that and touch that rail. But I tried to get her. I tried to get Alveda King because I had met her.
Yeah.
And she's a niece of Dr. Martin Luther King, one of my heroes. And that fell through. So we get these two wonderful Pentecostal, have to be women, have to be African American women to come in, and that went beautifully well because I'd gone to their Pentecostal church with an African American colleague, and they were wonderful. So here's the story. I'll be quick. So I was able to get a chief from the Indian tribe of oh my God, which tribe was it? Pembroke, from the Pembroke tribe in Mass and New Hampshire. I won't use his name, but it was his real name. I remember it, but I'll never forget it. But he said, we'll say it's Chief Joseph. So this day, it's in the afternoon. We have all these chairs set up downstairs. So I meet with Chief. He agrees to speak and answer questions about Native American heritage and mental health issues and addiction and recovery and all that from their perspective and their experience and knowledge and wisdom. So I bring Chief Joseph up. He's got two beautiful women with him. One was his grown-up daughter. They were in their 20s. So we sit in my office. I get coffee for them. We have coffee together. We talk about the format. And we talk about spirituality, a lot of things I won't go into. And the two women are just silent. And the chief says everything. And he's very kind, very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, Matt. So I'm talking, we're in my private office. And I'm saying things like, my voice, like I'm talking now, you know, Chief Joseph, thank you so much for coming. You're right. You worship the Great Spirit in that tradition. I, as a Catholic Christian, worship the Holy Spirit, and there are similarities and there are some differences there. And here's how he's talking to me, Matt. Yes, Martin, you are correct. We have Mother Earth. Do you see the difference? What's the difference, Matt?
I'm confused. The difference between what?
I know. It's a little confusing. So here I'm talking in a sensitive way, you know, because I always did that that was my therapy training.
Right.
When I'm meeting with someone. But the chief is almost whispering, Matt.
Oh,
you get
okay.
it? You see the scene?
Yes. Okay.
So now I start to worry because I'm thinking, oh my God, this is his approach, and I love it, I appreciate it, I respect it. But when we go downstairs, there's going to be administrators there. I know two of them. They're going to say they can't hear the chief. They're going to complain to me and make a big deal of it, and they might even embarrass me and the chief.
Right.
But I'm thinking we're going to go through it, so I say a little prayer. I won't go into what I heard, but I say a little prayer to the Holy Spirit in my tradition. I'm not letting the chief know. And I think, well, we'll do the best we can with this, you know. I don't have a microphone or anything, but I knew that downstairs you have all these people. It was crowded, you know. So I have all these people there from the community and from the outpatient department. These administrators, of course, they're always breathing over your shoulder anyway, those guys. But so I know that there's this space in front of the chairs and where the desks are where we're going to talk, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll have people come down. The rug's there, it's clean, and just sit on the floor. So I said, Chief, we should go, and we go down, and I introduce the chief and a little background. And I'm thinking, oh, here we go. We'll do the best we can. Lord be with me. You know what I mean, Matt?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now I got this anxiety. So going, and the Lord is saying to me in prayer, remain calm. Don't counsel the chief. He's your guest. Trust him. So I turn it over to the chief, Chief Joseph, not his real name, but Chief Joseph from Pembroke Tribe. And I'll never forget this. He was a man like 6'3". And so he leans forward a little bit and folds his hands, and he booms out this stentorian voice, Matt. You know what I mean? He could have been the number one broadcaster at a radio station, and he is just measured and powerful. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, of course, Chief Joseph knows exactly what he's doing. And he's presenting well. With me, he's got this soft-spoken, respectful style, almost a whisper, man.
Yeah.
But as soon as he gets to the big audience, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
He blasts it out, man. It was so moving. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well,
isn't that a great story?
Well, you know, he had his indoor voice and his outdoor voice.
Exactly, yeah. And he knew. He was to me, that reminded me, I don't want to over romanticize any culture, but it just reminded me of the power and the dignity, despite the genocidal things that these Native American tribes went through in the founding of America. That was a real dark side of America, in my judgment. That's one of the things I was always a little bit frustrated and angry with President Reagan. You know, the great city on the hill. Okay, that's a good metaphor as far as Matt. And it has value. It has intrinsic value. We have like Martin Luther King said, we have a promissory note from Thomas Jefferson, but it hasn't been fulfilled. We need to fulfill that. And then Dr. King helped fulfill that with the Voting Rights Act, Civil Rights Act, and other acts that followed under the Johnson administration. So, yeah, he had his inside voice and his outside voice. But the point is, Matt, he had his voice.
Right.
With Reagan, I didn't complete that. I just wanted him to say, you know, we also founded this country partly on genocide, and we are sorry for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't imagine Reagan saying that, unfortunately. But, yeah.
No, he wouldn't. And he wouldn't say that, you know, with the people he was hanging out with. I mean, you know, Reagan was I won't get into all that. He was a complex gentleman, let me put it that way. And as John has pointed out, and Bill O'Reilly wrote a book about, I think you gave me the book I have on this, from Bill O'Reilly. I don't know always agree with Bill, but I agree with him on some things.
Mm-hmm.
But he can be a putz, I think. But after that assassination attempt, that really shook Reagan. Of course, you know, and I say this with compassion and understanding. That shook Reagan to the core. And he was never the same after that, Matt.
Yeah.
He had spells where he was passive and he was avoidant and he just wasn't on top of the game, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was really tragic. But thank God he was also resilient and he survived that almost death experience. So keep up the good work. I'll let you go. But take a look. See what you think, Matt, about Davos, Switzerland, Klaus Schwab. I don't know if you're familiar with him. But,
a little bit.
My point is that you've got China on one side of the world, and then you've got these global elitists, and I think John would agree with me on this, on the other side of the world, and they're all moving to sort of go to this totalitarian system of one world, one government, one economy. And it's not helpful. It's not helpful to free markets, creative thinking, the Austrian School of Economics, which you know I'm very fond of. And so it's something to be careful about. And finally, I'll leave with a quote. We should never negotiate, Matt, out of fear. But we should never fear to negotiate. Did I make that up? No. That's from John Kenneth Galbraith, one of the great economists in the Kennedy administration, along with Walter Heller from the University of Minnesota, and they were to the right economically of Richard Nixon and the Republicans at that time.
Yeah.
So, and very effective. They cut taxes and the bureaucracy, and formed creative agencies with private enterprise, and what was looming as a recession, Kennedy turned that all around. It was just amazing. All right, Matt. God bless you. Keep up the good work. My shout out to Jenny. Great posts that Jenny has. She looks beautiful with that crown.
Yes, the crown. Yes, absolutely. All right, Dad. Well, thank you for the call.
All right, Matty.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. Take care. Be well. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you. All right, that was my father. That was Martin Connerton. We are almost out of time, but I do want to mention, very important. So Joe Lahr is in the chat room, and he said that tonight at 9 p.m. we're going to be featuring some David Crosby right here on WMNH 95.3. If you're just joining us, or if you haven't seen or heard the news, David Crosby passed away at the age of 81 today. Joe also posted in the chat room that a source is saying that it was COVID. Yeah, David Crosby, that's a bummer. And actually, I pulled up a Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young song, which David does the lead vocal on. I think he wrote it, Almost Cut My Hair. We'll close out today's show with that. But I think Easy G is on the line. Hello.
Yeah, real quick on a funny note, I don't think anybody picks him in the death pool. I always like to text Peter White now if somebody dies. New tradition I'm doing.
Right.
But anyways, I always think when there was still emergency, I get a text from Manchester. It's on the TV. You heard it on the radio there, your show. But people don't pay attention to anything. People at work here didn't know there was a snow emergency, snow alert day. And I always laugh because Ed Osborne, he always wants to talk politics, but he's dead now, from Manchester Ward 5. He's the one that goes those lights up there to tell people, get the hell off the streets. But even then, people don't pay attention to nothing.
That's right. Get the hell off the
street.
You
get a big fine. It's over $100 now.
Yeah, that's if you're lucky. If you're not lucky,
No joking. You have to pay cash, and if you lose there a few more days, it goes up and up and up and up.
They tow you. Yeah.
They make so much money on. I know we don't talk local here, but they make so much money on getting towing cars. It's unbelievable.
Scott Robinson in the chat says, "You better hide, Easy. The Hulkster and I are coming after you." All right. Well, on that note, Eric, we got to go. We are out of time, my friend.
I know you got to close up, and you guys have a great night. Be safe tomorrow.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. That was our friend Easy G. We do have to begin to close up. But like I said, tonight at 9 p.m., I have been alerted that there will be David Crosby played here on WMNH. All right, we'll grab this last call very quickly, and then we got to go. Hello. Welcome.
How quick can I be?
You got to be very quick.
Okay, listen, I saw it posted on 9 p.m. about that I was, fired over the use of me not using that terrible word. So, can you verify that for me? Because I sent you the picture that was sent to me.
Oh, I'll have to look at the picture.
Okay, I'll see you later.
All right, bye. All right, that was very odd. Okay, anyway, we got to go. What was I? Oh, today is Thursday, which means if you are listening live immediately after this show is Rob Dion, and of course Through the Stage Door, his great show here. And if you miss any part of today's show, it will be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org and at my website, MattConnerton.com. Don't forget, tomorrow we have Eric Pilcher's classic film review, part 2 of his review of Metallica, Some Kind of Monster, a fantastic documentary. We will tomorrow also, I promise. We will finish up. We never got, it was such a busy show today. That's okay, though. I love the adventure of live radio. We never got to the best part of this whole Steven Crowder debacle. We never got to the best part, the juiciest part. But we will get to that tomorrow, I promise. We'll open with that. We'll get that out of the way. We'll see what other kind of trouble we can get into. We'll have Eric's film review. Don't forget, too, tomorrow night, Rob Azevedo, not only will he be here for Granite State of Mind immediately following this show, but he's joining us on Retro Spectrum Radio as well. And if you miss any part of today's show, it will be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org, at my website, MattConnerton.com. Rest in peace, David Crosby. Tonight, 9 p.m., you can hear some David Crosby right here on WMNH 95.3. And you can hear some right now because we're going to leave you with this. This is Almost Cut My Hair from Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young to close out. Today is Matt Connerton Unleashed. I'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.